Hi everyone, this is Colin and welcome back to our EB-5 channel, and we have a critical EB-5 update where USCIS has finally given us a detail on the key element of the new RIA policy. The EB-5 promoter registration form has been released for notice and comment, and it is being called the I-956K. So stick around because at the end of this video, I will explain how this new registration requirement and the form I-956K will become the EB-5 investor's biggest protection, as well as its new biggest uncontrollable risk. As you all know, the 2022 EB-5 Reform and Integrity Act has all new integrity measures and transparency measures designed to protect EB-5 investors into the future. One of the most substantial policy items is the requirement for direct and third-party promoters to register directly with USCIS. In other words, EB-5 agents, regional centers, developers, NCs, JCs, whether they're directly or indirectly involved, they all need to register with USCIS and be completely transparent about their fee structures with EB-5 investors. This is something that already exists in the securities world of private equity, but the policy change now puts it in the jurisdiction of USCIS, and they're able to enforce these items directly. The I-956K is new and will pass through a 60-day notice and comment period, and it's potentially subject to change. So what is required? Specifically, the RIA bill itself provides that the immigration agents, finders, or broker-dealers, foreign and domestic, shall comply with the rules and standards prescribed by USCIS and any applicable federal or state securities law. This includes agents will need to register with USCIS identifying the name and contact information of the promoter and the existence of a written agreement between the agent and the regional center, new commercial enterprise, or the job-creating entity or sponsor of the EB-5 project as applicable. Agents will provide certification that the agent is not ineligible under the RIA because of prior convictions of certain crimes, sanctions by financial regulatory agencies, and all this seems kind of obvious, but now it's just codified and enforceable. Agents will provide to USCIS their own guidelines for accurately promoting the visa process to foreign investors. This should clean up the industry quite a bit because a good regional center will not lose out to bad actors who are making impossible promises they already know they can't keep. Lastly, agents will adhere to guidelines for permissible fee arrangements under applicable securities and immigration laws. Again, some of this is a little bit yet to be clarified, but it does already exist by the SEC and securities laws and is not really a new item. It's just being handed over to USCIS in the EB-5 world. The RIA reinforces that direct and third-party promoters, including foreign immigration agents, are required to comply with U.S. securities and immigration laws. USCIS is also requiring that regional centers, new commercial enterprises, and the job-creating entities must maintain the written agreements that also provide for complying with RIA rules and regulatory requirements. The game changer in all of this is the RIA also requires that EB-5 investors directly sign a disclosure that reflects all fees, all compensation, and all the money being paid by any regional center, NCE, or JCE to the immigration agents, finders, or broker-dealers that are involved in the offering. This fee disclosure will be attached to the investor's I-526E petition. Violators will be subject to sanctions, fines, penalties, or even worse, a complete permanent ban from the EB-5 program entirely. There's a quick request. If you are finding any of this helpful and want updates as they come out, please quickly just hit the subscribe button below. Now, transparency is good. The EB-5 investor having a clear path to follow the money, understand who is motivated to do what, and because of how much money, will bring a lot of integrity to the EB-5 world. So now for a bit of deep EB-5 logic. How does this major new protection also become the EB-5 investor's biggest risk? Thinking ahead, what happens if your regional center does not comply? What if an agent who promotes for that regional center does not comply? A regional center could be terminated for working with an unregistered, uncertified agent. If a regional center is terminated, any investor attached to that regional center will be denied as well. If this is actual policy, EB-5 investors could wind up collateral damage and be declared guilty by association, even when they were not involved in the violating activity. So if you think your regional center has a history of working with suspect brokers and finders, you should get as far away from that activity as possible. So how does an EB-5 investor or even good agents avoid disaster? You must invest your time, money, and your partnership in only the highest quality operators. Some RCs repeatedly just rent themselves out to the highest bidder. They pay any agent any fee for the next investor, and these groups will surely wind up terminated. That is the goal of USCIS. It's time to clean house. If you are an EB-5 investor, picking a good project was always important, but now the quality of the regional center and its principles just became that much more important. You must be comfortable with the people and the platform they operate. Bad agents, bad RCs, and any under-the-table deals will get exposed, and EB-5 investors that are attached to it are going to be unintentionally terminated as well. So in the end, what does it all mean to us at Bearing? Bearing actually welcomes these developments as our operation already deploys these integrity measures, and Bearing's due diligence process when onboarding third-party agents, promoters, and finders already includes background checks, principal registrations, open disclosures, and more. This is something that we've always had. As mentioned before, the SEC and securities law had much of this already covered, and it's not really that new. However, the fact that USCIS is enforcing these items and potentially weaponizing this activity to potentially go after the bad actors, that is a new development. Based on what we have seen in the EB-5 market involving suspect foreign brokers and suspect RCs, there will definitely be a few terminations. For investors and agents who are looking to learn more about these requirements and how they can maintain their compliance, please contact us now, set up appointments, and have a direct conversation with Bearing's team of experts. Again, if any of this was helpful, please subscribe now and make sure that you get the latest updates and anything we put out going forward. So, goodbye for now.